Is that hard spot on your foot a corn or a wart? Here's how you tell the difference. My name is Dr. Tarr. I'm a board certified podiatrist in private practice in Phoenix, Arizona, and I own a practice called Direct Podiatry Arizona in Tempe. These are the 4 differences between a corn and a wart. Now, a corn or a wart to the untrained eye can look very, very similar, if not the same. But there are some key differences. So, difference number 1 between a corn and a wart: a corn is caused by pressure over an area, usually a bone, and a wart is actually caused by a virus. So a corn is what we call hyperkeratotic tissue, which is very hard tissue. Keratin is a protein that makes up our hair, our skin, our nails. And in corns, this protein can build up over time in a very concentrated area or in a very pinpoint area and lead to a corn. Corns specifically are different than calluses because they have a central core, a very hard center. Corns also too can be caused by friction. Too much rubbing certain areas of your foot can lead to a corn over time. Common areas that corns will pop up: over joints, especially the joints of your toes. Sometimes corns I'll see at the tips of toes as well, or the soles of your feet, especially your heels or the ball of your foot. Now, a wart, on the other hand, is caused by a virus called human papillomavirus, or HPV. Yes, HPV is responsible for cases of penile cancer, cervical cancer, but there's also over 100 different strains of HPV, and the strains that are responsible for cancer are not responsible for plantar warts. So no need to be alarmed. How people come in contact with certain strains of HPV on their feet: usually it's little nicks or cuts in their skin. You typically can't feel these, can't even see them, but that can act as a window or a door for this virus to enter. This virus can live on surfaces for years. So that virus enters your foot and causes a wart. Also, to micro trauma or injuries from pedicures, from manicures at nail salons that are not sterilizing their instruments, aren't autoclaving their instruments, also can be a source of plantar warts as well. The second difference between a corn and a wart: because warts are caused by a virus, warts can be contagious, whereas a corn is not. Plantar warts can spread from one point on your foot to the next to the next. It's not unheard of or uncommon for someone to have a foot where their sole is completely covered in plantar warts. Just over time, these warts spread from one area to the next. If you try and pick at these warts, you can potentially spread these warts to other parts of your foot as well. If you're noticing these changes go on in your feet, it's important to see a foot doctor or podiatrist to have it treated as quickly as possible before it causes bigger issues with spreading. Now, a corn, on the other hand, as we learned earlier, is caused by friction, is caused by added pressure. So even though someone can have multiple corns going on one foot, they aren't contagious. It's just that you have multiple corns from multiple pressure points going on your foot at the same time. But a corn is not something that you can give to someone else. A corn is not something that can be given to you, but you can spread plantar warts to other people, and people can definitely give them to you as well. So the third difference between a corn and a wart: warts will have black dots inside of them, a sign of broken blood vessels, whereas a corn does not. Now, the way that HPV works in the case of plantar warts is that once it enters your body, it actually lives in tiny, tiny blood vessels in your foot called capillaries. And that's where it gets its nutrients and oxygen and is able to grow, flourish, and be happy. And because of that, warts, a lot of times when you try to shave down a wart, it can potentially be painful because that tissue that it's in is alive and it's getting blood flow. Now, if you think you have a wart at home, please do not try and shave it down, because again, that can be a way that you're spreading the wart to other parts of your foot. So this is something that should be performed by a podiatrist or foot doctor. But sometimes when we try to shave down, once we get that past that top layer of skin, either we'll see black dots inside of that spot, which means broken blood vessels, and that's telltale sign of a wart, or sometimes you'll see nothing, and that can lead you towards a callus. This rule isn't always hard and fast. Your mileage may vary, but I think it's still an important one to include. And then the fourth way you know if it's a corn or a wart, warts typically will bleed, but a corn will not when trimmed. So warts, again, will invade the surrounding blood vessels, capillaries of your foot. So a lot of times when you shave a wart, once you get past that hard outer layer of skin, they do tend to bleed, but a corn will not. It is important that if you're dealing with anything going on with your feet in regards to just new lumps and bumps, see a podiatrist. We can always biopsy the area as well and make sure, again, that we know what we're dealing with before we start treatment plan. Knowing if this is truly a corn, a wart, or something else going on will help us treat you. You can get better faster, and it won't lead to, delays in care, misdiagnosis, which a misdiagnosis can potentially be dangerous if we miss any skin changes that need to be treated quickly. These are a few ways that you can tell the difference between a corn and a wart. So let me know in the comments section down below. Have you dealt with a corn or wart? If you like this video, like. If you'd like to see more from me, be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you can receive updates from me whenever I post a new video. I will leave a link in the description box below to my practice website with a blog post talking about this topic, links to an email newsletter. Feel free to subscribe to that. And until then, everyone, wishing you good health. Take care. Bye.